where you're looking at your box and you're trying to figure out how to do the images, okay? So you always have the option of getting the pen tool or the curve tool and just drawing over it, okay? Keeping in mind that you're probably going to want to make your stroke a little bit bigger, and you might want to make your fill transparent so you can see your lines. Now, we were aiming for the most professional looking board games possible, okay? So this is a possibility, but if you just take your sketch and you start drawing over it, it's probably going to look like it was done by a kindergartner, right? And that's the opposite of what we're going for. So with your images, I'm absolutely okay with using AI image generation, but you have to do it right, okay? Has to be your idea. So the program I would like you to use is Adobe Express. You can get to it through Clever, okay? And they've got a good AI image generating system here. So I've been playing around with this and I want to show you what I think would work best for your board games. So to get it started, you have to tell it what you want. So I want a dice, right? So I'm just going to say game dice. Now this is not right. So if you now go and you use whatever it comes up with, that is not acceptable. That's just not plagiarism. It's just not your work, right? It was randomly made by AI. So, okay. Now, what you can do is go up to the reference images. So this is where things get interesting, okay? So in Adobe Illustrator, I have got a perfectly good dice here. And especially if you're on a Mac, you just need to do Command-Shift-4 and drag this over, and it will save an image to your desktop or wherever you save it, right? So now I can go back over here, and I'm just going to go add a composition image. You might be able to drag it in. I'm not very good at the dragging in thing. Okay, so now we have told it we want it to look like this. Okay, now we also have a style image. Now, one of the problems with using AI is the color scheme is not going to match the color palette that you chose for your game. And that's a problem, okay? However, you can go to your color palette. Let's pick this first one. And you can take a screenshot of the color palette. And now we can go over here and we can add the color palette as our style, okay? And now finally, we can maybe say one game dice, okay? So now I played around with the different kinds of content. I personally think that art gives you the most kind of board gamey looking type, but if you want, you can play around with these and see what you get. So now if I go generate, I will get, I think, come on internet, there we go. So now I've got dice that look like my picture. So you're the one who told it what you want, right? But it's also added my color scheme. So now I can start to play with this, right? So let's say I like this one. Now, the last thing you got to do is you got to click off and click back on. If you click back on, you have the option to remove the background, right? So you need to make sure you remove the background so that you can add it to your board game. So now all I have to do is download it, and it will default to a PNG, which is transparent background. So if you download that and you go to your Adobe, so we need to place this. So I'm going to go File, Place, and I'm going to go find my downloaded dice. I think that's it. And now all I have to do is drag a rectangle about the size of where I want the dice to go, and it'll put my dice in there. Okay? So that is, once you get to this stage, now I'll do some more demos a later date, but I think some of you based on the last class, some of you might get to the stage where you're trying to figure out how to actually make good images of some of your pictures. And so totally acceptable to use Adobe Express as long as you're uploading a composition image and your group's color palette so that it matches with your game theme. Okay? Okay, so that's all I want to say for now. Let me just stop recording.